Hey, everybody, it's Jason Weaver. I'm here today with Christine LaBerge of Landfall IP. Hi, Christine. Thanks for joining us today. We're talking about how AI cloning has made it easier to rip off or copycat different software platforms out there. We've had conversation about that earlier, but I'm very excited about this episode because you've done a lot with in the IP protection space, and
Yeah.
your platform and your firm is just amazing. So maybe you can tell them a little bit about you and your background, and then we can kind of dive in.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be here. I'm Christine LaBerge, founder of Landfall IP. I'm an engineer by background, and Landfall is an AI native patent law firm, which means we built it from the ground up rather than, bolting AI on top. So in practice, we've got world-class patent attorneys that do the actual legal work, while the AI system we engineered handles everything underneath. So we deliver patents just dramatically faster, higher quality, and more affordably than the traditional model. And I had the technology and engineering side. So my job is building the system that lets a small team of senior attorneys do the work of a firm many times our size. And the clients we build for, they range from an early stage founder to some of the largest, most sophisticated technology companies in the world across software, AI, wireless electronics, wearables, etc. The one thing all of our clients share is that they value innovation, they value speed, and they value excellence.
Awesome. And I've looked at the platform before. It's super cool. I think one thing to know about Christine and her company is your partners are attorneys, so you have the best of both worlds, right? So, the legal side and the technology side, and it's just incredible. The reason I wanted to talk to you today is a couple of my colleagues and I've been posting about stuff online, which we call vibe cloning, right? Where people are now seeing what the big companies are. You see like HubSpot, and then people are creating these vibe cloned kind of versions of their own CRM and stuff, but I'm also seeing that happen with many different startups. How do you see this? Do you see this happening in your world where people are copying, catting stuff? And what would you recommend for, kind of protection on that side?
Yeah, yeah. Well, AI generated code means competitors can clone products in days now, right? And really the question is, how worried should founders be? Founders should take it seriously. But let me separate the exposure from the noise. And I'll do that as an engineer because I'm not one of our patent attorneys, and I don't want to give anyone legal advice. The noise is the panic that says because the surface of your product can be cloned in a weekend, everything you built is suddenly worthless. And that's just not true. So what AI made cheap is copying the visible layer, the interface, the obvious features. The real exposure is different and it's more specific. It's that genuine technical advance that's underneath it and how you actually make the thing work. If that's sitting unprotected at that exact moment, the cost of copying has dropped down to almost nothing, you're at risk. So my honest answer is don't lose sleep over the clone that merely looks like you. Worry about whether you have protected the thing that was actually hard to build. The moat used to just be that if you ship first, you're great, but when everything can be copied so quickly, the durable moat is that you own the protectable technical advantage. And a patent's one of the few ways to really do that.
All right, Christine, that's an excellent answer. Thank you. I know that traditionally patenting has a reputation for being slow. I've had a couple startups, as you know, and I would try to file a provisional patent, wait a year, then file a real patent, then wait 8 years till the patent got approved or something like that. Right? And it was all of the time. There's many corrections back and forth and stuff. How has your company improved that process?
Well, the process was really broken with three things. It was really slow, it was expensive, and it was almost impossible for a normal founder to judge whether they'd gotten their money's worth. So patent work is what economists call a credence good, which means that even after you get the patent, you can't easily tell whether it's any good or not. And that opacity is what let the old model really coast on slow turnaround, inconsistent quality, and pricing that rewarded documents rather than the outcomes that they delivered. Additionally, structurally, traditional firms, they're built on associate pyramids and heavy overhead. So they're squeezed between clients who want lower cost and a cost basis that can't deliver it. And a lot of them respond just by cutting corners or leaving the market. When we saw what AI could do, it was obvious to us that we could just rebuild the whole thing. So you can keep the senior legal judgment, let the AI absorb the mechanical work, and make the economics work in the client's favor instead of against it. And the best way I can explain it is with an analogy. So when computers came into film animation, the established studios handed their animators digital pencils. So it was the same hand-drawn workflow, but just they touch software. But Pixar asked a completely different question. They said, what does filmmaking look like if you design the entire production system around the technology? So every stage produces what the next stage needs. And that's really the difference between bolting AI onto old practices and actually building a practice around it. So most patent firms right now, they're in the digital pencil phase. But what we did is we built a pipeline that has specialized agents that handle discovery, development, drafting, and the attorneys actually sit kind of where the directors sit. They sit on strategy, on judgment, and that really determines what a patent's worth. So it's not commodity output. It's the quality, it's the excellence, it's the speed. But because it's built that way, quality doesn't diminish because of all the handoffs. It's built to create something really, really good.
Awesome. That's a great insight. I remember when we first met and I was talking about patents and stuff, and I was like, I'm not sure if I had a patent. You're like, oh, Jason, just go through and talk through it. It'll find something. It'll let you know. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
incredible. That's incredible that process that you guys put together. Can you
yeah.
walk us through that real quick? Just explain to the viewers, kind of when they come to you and how you can help them kind of dig out the idea for a patent.
The mindset, that's totally normal. And that's actually where our platform really shines. So what we built is, we call it a discovery agent, and it's a voice interview agent where inventors can talk through their ideas. So it can read whatever materials that the founder already has. It actually interviews you about your invention, and then it runs a prior art search in the background. And because today's LLMs, they already understand the underlying technology deeply. The conversation can skip the part where the attorney would spend 10 or 15 hours, writing on a legal pad, becoming an expert in that specific thing, and it can go straight to what are the core aspects of novelty here. And then we get a structured discovery agent report, and then our attorneys step in on strategy. So is it worth pursuing? What's the business case? What are your business goals? What should the protection actually cover? And then from there, the system pulls a single source of truth document, our drafting tools, everything dovetails with it. So from this founder side, the experience is you have a really good conversation, you get expert guidance, and then the heavy machinery kind of runs underneath it. And the great thing is the discovery agent is available on our website, and you can request access to it. And then once you've gotten the access, you can talk through an invention just in your native language very comfortably, and it'll give you an insight report.
And so for the viewers, I just want to clarify. So Christine has it where you can actually just do voice conversation and talk through your ideas in the patent. So historically, you filled out a whole bunch of paperwork, as you said, right? And it goes through this discovery phase. And then the attorney gets back to you and is like, hey, we think this could work, that we think this can work. You kind of fast forward through that process so we can get to the meat of the patent, right?
Yeah.
As you go through, so to speak.
Yeah, and you're not paying, thousands of dollars for it. I mean, before a prior art search, just searching the idea would be $3,000, and this is
Yeah. I was going to say
great.
that. I know that's a lot of savings in time.
Yeah.
What do you recommend that a founder brings to that first conversation?
It really varies. I mean, the way the discovery agent is set up is you can upload information, you can upload PDFs or Word docs or whatever. It's in a fully confidential environment. So you have to set up an account and a password and all of that. So it's fully contained. It's not, it's not open. Definitely don't just discuss your idea with Claude in an open source model. It's not a good idea. So it's very contained. You can bring a bunch of stuff, or you can just talk about it. And what a lot of founders tell us is when they talk to the discovery agent is designed to really probe for those core aspects of novelty that are going to go toward forming the dependent and independent claims. So it actually often encourages them to think more deeply about their invention, and they think, oh, I haven't thought about this part yet, or I haven't thought about this part yet, and they sometimes end up walking away with an idea of like, oh, well, maybe I want to develop this angle more.
Can you give us an idea of like speed and maybe even cost of getting this process going? I know there's back and forth with patents, but maybe just
Yeah,
an idea what it takes.
yeah, sure. So we actually can turn a patent application around into the USPTO in just a week or two. Traditional firms are usually, they're months. And it's because we use all of these AI systems. So most of what makes the traditional patent work slow, it's not the thinking time, it's the handoffs and the layering review. It's sitting in somebody's inbox, waiting for the next person. And all of our system designs those delays out. So the senior attorney time goes to the part that actually determines the value of the patent, and then the system handles the rest. So we're running about right now 20 to 30% below traditional firms, and we do flat fees. So it's not hourly billing, so it's not surprise billing. Right now for a typical patent application, it varies sometimes based off of how complicated the patents are, but right now we're about 7,500 for a full non-provisional patent application. And I should clarify that the couple of weeks into USPTO, that's when we get it into USPTO and it's filed. And that's really important because it kind of stamps your place in line in terms of the date, like this is my spot, but we don't have control over the USPTO review process. So they still take a lot of time to review. And you can pay additional fees to fast track it, but it's still a lengthy process on the USPTO side, but we get our clients in line.
That's amazing. It was actually fun to go through that and see how you did that. Maybe you have a story about somebody came in and did a patent thing.
So one story that comes to mind is there was a woman, she was in the UK, and she had been working on this idea really for years. And it wasn't until generative AI came about that she could actually build the idea that she was developing in her mind. And when she came to us, she was starting to talk to some potential investors and buyers, and she was saying, I don't really even think this is patentable. Like I'm just using a bunch of things that are existing. But when we looked into it with her and really developed it, what she was doing was actually really novel because of the way that she was using different pieces together, the way she was layering them, what she was and the problem she was trying to solve. And we were actually able to write a successful patent for her that opened a lot of doors for her to be able to continue the business and to continue those conversations. And she had never been through the patent process, so she was just kind of blown away by it. And she said that once she got the patent application from us, it was the first time her husband understood the invention that she invented. He read the patent
Wow, that's
application.
incredible.
He read it and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I finally get what you've created here." And she had created something really special. So it was really fun getting to know her and to work with her.
That's amazing. Was that a US based patent? Do you do outside of US too?
Yeah, it was a US based patent. So we do
Interesting.
US filings, and then we work with other partner firms to file internationally as well.
Okay, that's interesting. Cool.
So,
But my last question, okay.
yeah.
If a founder wants to get started with you today, what's the best way to get started with you? Where should they go? What are the
Yeah.
first steps of working with you guys?
So you can go to our website, landfallip.com. That's the first step. You can email me directly. So you could do info@landfallip.com. That comes directly to me. But if you want to try the discovery agent on the website, there's a button you can click to go to the discovery agent, and you can request access there. So you'll create an account, put a username and password, and that's really important for keeping your data completely secure. And just kind of a side note on security, we are one of the only law firms that has SOC 2 Type 2 certification. So we've
Great.
recently completed that whole process. And for your viewers that might not know, it's a huge program for cybersecurity and
Yes.
really protect your data. We really take that very seriously. So you go there, you create the account. My phone will pop up and it'll say, "Hey, you got this request for access. I'll approve you." And then you can talk through an invention. And then once you do that, it'll give you that free patentability report. And so you can use that kind of as a go, no go decision of, "Hey, I want to continue the talk and see what this is," or I want to wait, or whatever it is. There's no cost at that point. And even when you schedule that next call, there's no cost for that. Um, and it's people actually are really enjoying the process. They were
Oh yeah.
often told, like, "Oh my gosh, I thought this was going to be so painful," and it was actually really fun. Or people tell us a lot they're really worried about the engineering time that you have to spend on this. That their engineers are busy doing XYZ and they don't want to pull them away to talk about patents. But it's actually very little engineering time for the process you're getting. So it's been really
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. I can speak as a person who's tried it out. It's fun. It's easy to do, especially that discoverability process.
Yeah.
Historically, having SaaS companies, you had to type everything out, send it over for review, go back. This, you just speak it out. right? And go
Yeah.
through that discovery and then go through the process with you. So you've really made that fun. I'm excited. So this is Christine LaBerge. We've been talking with her about Landfall IP. I would definitely encourage all you founders to check it out. Great that you have SOC 2. A lot of our founders have that too. I've talked to a lot of SaaS people, so they'll appreciate that. And the privacy security part of that is even better. So thanks for your time, Christine. I appreciate you being here today.
Jason, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And, it's been great working with you in the past. So,
You as well. You as well.
yeah.
Thank you. All right. See you guys.